What's going on with this country in general nowadays? Does that mean like your generation? Seriously. Come on. And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns?
Did you hear what Sylvester Stallone just did? The action legend took a swipe at woke culture, mocking the whole pronoun craze, and Hollywood is losing it. With one sharp joke, he's got everyone talking. So, is Stallone the voice of reason we need, or is Hollywood gearing up to cancel him next?
He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang, ba, fang, cool. You know what my pronoun is? Guess. Time's up. It, as in it, can't take this anymore.
Which brings us to Sylvester Stallone taking a sledgehammer to Hollywood's latest obsession, pronouns. The guy's been around long enough to see trends come and go, but even he couldn't stay silent on this one. In a recent interview, Stallone humorously addressed the whole pronoun craze in Hollywood, dropping a bombshell line that had people talking, "Guess what my pronoun is? It can't take this anymore."
If you were starting today in Hollywood and you're giving advice to a young actor, writer, producer, what would you say? Would you say forget motion picture theaters and just go into streaming, or what?
I would pretty much say that, yeah.
I mean, come on. This is Stallone at his finest, calling out the absurdity with a blend of humor and frustration. Sure, it's funny on the surface, but there's a deeper message here. He's not just cracking jokes, he's pointing out how ridiculous things have gotten. In Hollywood today, it seems like more energy is spent worrying about how people identify than about the quality of the stories being told. Stallone's remark struck a chord, because, let's face it, a lot of people are tired of walking on eggshells to avoid offending someone.
Grabbing life by the seat of the pants, going with your gut instinct, is over. For example, when Rocky would never be made today. This never would have happened. It's over. Majority. The Godfather wouldn't be made today.
The man's a legend, known for his iconic roles in Rocky and Rambo. These characters weren't just action heroes. They stood for something bigger, traditional American values. In Rocky, we saw the underdog story we could all root for: hard work, resilience, and determination. Rambo gave us a gritty, no-nonsense patriot fighting for what's right. These movies weren't interested in preaching at you. They were about heart, heroism, and raw emotion.
I don't think it's going to ever have the golden era that it's had.
Can you imagine a movie like Rocky being made today? Stallone himself has said it wouldn't happen. Hollywood has shifted so far away from the kind of storytelling that made Rocky and Rambo iconic. Instead of focusing on compelling narratives, today's filmmakers are obsessed with diversity checkboxes and political agendas. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with telling diverse stories, but when that becomes more important than making a good movie, we've got a problem. Stallone made a point of saying that even classics like The Godfather wouldn't survive in today's climate. And he's right. The focus has shifted from strong characters and gripping plots to ensuring that every film fits into this new, politically correct mold. Hollywood's become more concerned with making sure everyone feels represented than with producing stories that people actually want to watch. The difference is, Stallone isn't afraid to say what most people in the industry won't.
What to come in attractions. And streaming, actually I'm going to do one very, very soon called the Tulsa King, or the King of Tulsa.
It's no surprise that Stallone is bucking the trend. He's always been a guy who stands by what he believes, and his films have reflected those values. Today, as Hollywood continues to push an agenda, Stallone remains one of the few who still believes in telling stories that are bold, gritty, and unapologetically patriotic. It's almost as if Stallone, much like his characters, is still fighting the good fight. This time, against Hollywood itself.
Take 10 weeks, which is beautiful, whereas in a film, you have maybe 95 minutes, 110 minutes, and it's all a crapshoot. In other words, with films, you have a James Bond film, $300 million.
One of the most consistent themes in Stallone's work, especially in his later films, is the unapologetic promotion of patriotism and family values. These aren't just random plot devices thrown in for the sake of drama. They are the core of what drives his characters and stories. Take Rambo. Last Blood as an example. Stallone's portrayal of John Rambo is far more than just an action hero blowing up bad guys. In this film, Rambo fights to protect his family, specifically his niece, from a vicious Mexican cartel. The film highlights something deeper, the lengths a man will go to in order to protect those he loves, even when society has forgotten the importance of such values.
When he goes inside, he finds a family, and that's where the audience catches up to them.
There's no reason for a man to throw his family away. He's lucky he has one.
It's not just about the explosions and fight scenes. Stallone's message is clear. Family comes first, no matter the cost. In Last Blood, the sense of duty Rambo feels toward his niece echoes the same values we saw in his earlier films. Whether it was fighting for his country in the original Rambo series or standing up for his community in Rocky, Stallone has always championed the ideals of loyalty, sacrifice, and patriotism.
You know, like I'm a man of my word. No.
But what is it?
Compare that with what Hollywood is pushing these days. Progressive narratives have flooded mainstream films, with storylines focused more on checking off boxes for representation and political correctness than telling compelling stories. For many fans, this feels like a betrayal of the values that once made American cinema great. Stallone, on the other hand, is pushing back. He refuses to conform to the Hollywood machine, which often seems more interested in pushing agendas than producing art. This is where Stallone's appeal to his conservative fan base becomes clear. His films remind us of a time when heroes were straightforward, their values were clear, and their actions were rooted in something deeper than just spectacle. Rambo: Last Blood isn't just a movie about revenge. It's a statement about protecting what matters most: family and country.
That's eventually going to allow us to go legit.
And then we have Tulsa King, Stallone's latest venture, where his character takes a stand against the absurdities of today's politically correct culture. It's no coincidence that Stallone chose to poke fun at political correctness in this series. The humor is sharp, the satire is on point, and it's clear that Stallone is once again doubling down on his belief in traditional virtues. Tulsa King showcases Stallone's ability to weave his values into a modern narrative while still delivering the kind of gritty, no-nonsense storytelling his fans have come to expect. The show not only takes jabs at political correctness, but also reinforces the same themes of loyalty and honor that Stallone's films have been built on for decades.
Sometimes in Hollywood, action films are looked down on, like, oh, this is the bottom of the artistic basement, which is BS. It's so hard to do a great action film.
Hollywood isn't exactly thrilled with Stallone's stance. In fact, his refusal to conform to the increasingly progressive culture of the film industry has caused quite a stir. Hollywood operates under an unwritten rule. Either you toe the line and conform to their progressive values, or you risk being blacklisted. It's not hard to see that Stallone is breaking this rule, and he's doing it with his signature style: bold, unapologetic, and with a bit of a smirk.
What is the thing that's going to make me happy? But in doing that, you may have to change your life drastically, and that takes a lot of guts, but it's going to be worth it.
The entertainment industry has been leaning more and more into woke culture, promoting narratives that focus on political correctness, diversity quotas, and identity politics. And look, there's nothing wrong with diversity or inclusivity, but when it comes at the expense of storytelling, it's a problem. Hollywood is quick to punish those who stray from the new status quo, and Stallone's unwillingness to play ball has earned him a lot of critics within the industry. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.